Hi, I'm Neha Matthews, and you're listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. Yesterday, Jagat Prakash Nadda took over as the national president of BJP. He was elected unopposed and took over the reins from Amit Shah, who had been party president for 5.5 years now. During the function, Nadda walks to the stage to deliver his maiden speech as the crowd chants slogans. In his speech, Nadda thanks PM Modi, Amit Shah, Nitin Gadkari, and other BJP politicians, saying that it's only in a party like theirs which can allow a man from a humble background to take over such a powerful position.
मुझ जैसा व्यक्ति साधारण कार्यकर्ता जिसका राजनीतिक बैकग्राउंड परिदृश्य न हो, कोई पारिवारिक बैकग्राउंड राजनीति का ना हो, वह हिमाचल के सुदूर गांव से आकर इस जिम्मेवारी को उसको ये जिम्मेवारी अगर मिलती है तो ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की विशेषता भी है और ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ही संभव है, इसको हमको समझना है.
Here's the thing. The BJP had reached a new electoral high under Shah over the last 5 years, expanding its footprints across the country. But now, Nadda is taking over at a time when the party is facing protests over the Citizenship Amendment Act, the NRC, and the NPR, not to mention its recent performance in state elections. So will Nadda start to form a third power center in the BJP or continue to implement Amit Shah's instructions? Liz Matthew, who covers the BJP for Indian Express, joins us to talk about Nadda's background, how he entered politics, and what challenges lie before him in this position. Liz, so let's start by talking about JP Nadda himself. Could you tell our listeners when he got into politics, when he moved into national politics?
Jagat Prakash Nadda started his career with RSS and then he became active with ABVP in Delhi. Then from ABVP, he moved into the youth wing of BJP. In fact, he became the national president of BJYM, that is youth wing of BJP, in 1990 after Rajnath Singh. He is so senior in the party. Then he moved back to Himachal Pradesh, where he later became an MLA. And his interaction with national leaders started when this current Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as General Secretary, went to Himachal Pradesh to work as the General Secretary in charge of Himachal Pradesh ahead of 1997 election. Actually, where Nadda was the leader of opposition in the assembly. So Nadda had to work closely with Narendra Modi then. They kind of built a very strong bonding. Although he worked closely with Mr. Modi to lead the party into victory, because in that election, BJP's tally rose from 9 to 31. He could not become the chief minister. PK Dhumal has become the CM then. But, Modi and Nadda continued their, kind of proximity with each other. Nadda later, when Amit Shah and Modi became the towering figures of BJP, Nadda moved to the national scene again. He became General Secretary. Actually, he was General Secretary under Nitin Gadkari also. And under Rajnath Singh also, he was General Secretary. He proved that, he is someone who could work closely with any president. So that also shows his nature, because he is not a very aggressive person, a very mild-mannered, soft-spoken leader. Later, in 2017, when Himachal Pradesh went for election, he wanted to be the chief minister. But I think it looks like the national leadership must have told him that we have bigger plans for you. So he couldn't be the CM then, although he really wanted to be the CM there. In 2019, he was sent to Uttar Pradesh as the campaign in charge. Amit Shah, as party president, sent him to UP. And despite that political realignment there, the BJP did fairly very well in 2019 election.
So in our conversations, you've described JP Nadda as the sort of affable, mild-mannered man, compared to Amit Shah's strict authoritarian. Do you see Nadda forming a sort of third power center after Modi and Shah? Do you see him moving out of Amit Shah's shadow?
See, Nadda is not a aggressive or even aggressive go-getter, disciplinarian, or somebody who will have his way on many issues like his immediate predecessor, Amit Shah. Usually, he's very mild-mannered, very soft-spoken, very affable in nature. That's one thing. And, that is one of the reasons, earlier I said that he was actually primary choice of Narendra Modi. But Amit Shah wouldn't have any disagreement with Narendra Modi for having Nadda there, because Nadda is not someone who doesn't look like he's grown out of Amit Shah's shadow and became another very prominent figure, or like very influencing figure. That could be one of the reasons that went behind his selection as party president. However, we have seen, from 2019 June, Nadda has been working as the working president of the BJP after Amit Shah moved into Narendra Modi's cabinet as home minister. Now that he became the national president, obviously, he will have to take more prominent and important role than, it has become officially he's the party president. See, now what he's taking over and what he's going to be for the coming few months is just he is going to be the executioner of what Amit Shah wants and Amit Shah's plans and strategies. His team, we have seen state elections, in the BJP. Most of these people are Amit Shah's selections only, the choices only. So he will be working with the Amit Shah team rather. And, we have to wait and see, what kind of team he's going to pick up, who is going to be the general secretaries, who is going to be in parliamentary board. All these things are very crucial. But the party leaders say it is unlikely that Nadda will have his imprint on such decision, at least for the coming 6 months. After 6 months, we will see whether he is emerging as another poll center, a third poll center after Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. That is something that we have to see. Naturally, he being the national president, he will have to take certain decisions to influence, and certain decisions of the parties he will have his own likes, and whether he is going to impose it or whether he is going to have them, we have to wait and see.
So Nadda is also taking over at a slightly challenging time for the BJP when it comes to at least state elections. Now we have Delhi elections coming up, Bihar elections, and next year we have West Bengal. So what sort of challenges is he taking on as he becomes BJP president?
Yes, Nadda is taking over the BJP at a time when the party is sliding in terms of electoral victories in the states. Although party had won a splendid majority in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, we have seen BJP losing power in Maharashtra, doing not so good in Haryana, losing power in Jharkhand. We are going to see Delhi elections. Now we don't know how BJP is going to perform, but BJP is having a very, very tough fight with Aam Aadmi Party. BJP will face another election in Bihar this year. It is not the top glory time for BJP. So Nadda's challenges will be to put back the party into that winning streak. But, more than that electoral phase, I think what Nadda is going to have is the ideological, test. We know that since 2019, when the BJP returned to power, the government has taken a series of decisions. It's ideologically very crucial for BJP and its ideological parent RSS. We have seen the taking away the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen the parliament passing triple talaq. We have seen the Citizenship Amendment Act. All these issues are ideologically very important for the party and its RSS. So Nadda's challenge will be keep that ideological path of that BJP, if the party on that track only, without getting into deep troubles, he has to run the party on that path. So Nadda's challenges are going to be both the electoral as well as this ideological.
Revenge politics, a power move. The Jagan Mohan-led YSRCP government's move to announce the 3 capitals of the state of Andhra Pradesh is being met with opposition resistance and ongoing protests by farmers in Amravati. On Monday, the Assembly approved a proposal to create 3 state capitals: Visakhapatnam as executive capital, Kurnool as judicial capital, and Amravati as the legislative capital. Srinivas Janyala, who covers Andhra Pradesh and Telangana for the Indian Express, joins us over call to detail what led to this move and why it is being met with protests. So, Srinivas, the Andhra Pradesh government has approved the creation of essentially 3 capitals for the state. There's a legislative capital, 1 executive capital, and 1 judicial. I wanted to ask you, is this an unusual move?
Yeah, it is an unusual move. No other state in the country has 3 capitals or even 2 capitals. So this is a highly unusual move by the SRCP government.
Could you tell us what the YSRCP government's reasoning was behind these three capitals?
Yeah, the YSRCP government has come out with a decentralization and equal development plan. According to that plan, they want to develop all three parts of Andhra Pradesh, that is Rayalaseema, North Coastal Andhra, and Central Andhra. So they want to develop Kurnool as the judicial capital, where the High Court will come up. They also want to shift the secretariat to Visakhapatnam so that North Coastal Andhra, including Visakhapatnam district, Vizianagaram, Srikakulam development will come there. And they want to keep Amravati as just the legislative capital with the legislative council and assembly buildings being there. So with this plan, they claim that there will be equal and balanced development across the state rather than just at one place if they continue to develop Amravati as the capital. The YSRCP government has not cited any example or precedent to this, but it is based on their internal thinking that development should be equal instead of concentrating at one place or one district.
And before they decided this, the previous TDP government under N. Chandrababu Naidu, they had picked Amravati to be the capital after Telangana state was formed. So is this move by Jagan Mohan Reddy being seen as a kind of a power move?
It is being seen as revenge politics. If Jagan Mohan Reddy continues to develop where Chandrababu Naidu left Amravati, then the credit will of course go to Chandrababu Naidu only. Chandrababu Naidu keeps claiming that he developed Hyderabad, and like that he wants to develop Amravati too as a world-class capital. So if the YSRCP government continues to develop Amravati, the ultimate credit will go to Chandrababu Naidu and he will claim it also. That is what Jagan Mohan Reddy, his arch rival, wants to deny Naidu. And this entire thing about balanced growth and development, not many people are convinced about it. They think this is revenge politics. To deny Naidu, the credit for developing Amravati as capital.
And what sort of work had Chandrababu Naidu done in Amravati till now?
There is the interim government complex, which is a huge complex from where the secretariat and other departments function right now. Then there is the temporary High Court building, which is also a huge building. Then the permanent Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly complex has been constructed with all kinds of good facilities there. Then 60 to 70% of the work on construction of flats and apartments for government officers, IAS, IPS officers, judicial officers are all already constructed or in the process of construction. All that has been stopped now, much of it. The government says that those buildings which are constructed over 60%, they will be finished and allotted to government employees, or those buildings will be utilized for other purposes. But beyond that, there won't be any development otherwise in Amravati.
Okay. And beyond the politics of this as well, when these three capitals are made and when it's shifted away from Amravati, who will be affected? Because we've heard about farmers protesting against for several days now.
Farmers, those who gave about 33,000 acres of land, some 28,000 farmers, they will be the ones who will be most affected because they gave the lands to the previous TDP government thinking that we will get back developed plots which we can either sell at higher rates or give it on rent to commercial ventures so that we can make some money. Now, with this announcement, even before the announcement of these three capitals, when the YSRCP government indicated that it won't develop Amravati as the capital, prices fell. Prices had gone up to 1.52 crores per acre. But now they are back to again, 50 lakhs. There are no takers now there. So these farmers who gave the land to the previous TDP government are the biggest losers. Then believing that, the capital would come up, several private universities, hospitals, then schools, international schools, all kinds of institutes have also come up. They will be now, isolated from any development around them. For instance, AIMS is coming up at Mangalgiri. Then the Indo-UK hospital has already come up. Mata Amritanandmaya University has a full-fledged medical college and hospital. Now, without any further development around Amravati, these institutions will be isolated totally.
In terms of the farmers, has the YSRCP government talked about how they're going to pay them back, or do they have any plans for them and their land?
The government has not announced any plan for the Amravati farmers who gave their land for capital development. No announcement has been made yet. except that tenant farmers who lost their jobs, the monthly compensation has been increased from 2,500 to 5,000 per month. Except apart from that, there is no other announcement for all the other farmers.
Okay. And how is this move going down in terms of public sentiment? How have people reacted to this?
Today, there was not much reaction except for protests in Amravati. In Visakhapatnam, people are not very keen on expanding the city as a capital because it is a quiet town, quiet city. They don't want any big developments happening there. So, Vizag, there is not much enthusiasm. In Kurnool, some people were happy that the High Court would come there, although they don't know how a High Court will trigger development around them.
Yesterday morning, the Union Finance Ministry held its traditional Halwa ceremony in its headquarters at North Block. The ceremony marks the commencement of the printing process of the central government's budget. The function was presided over by Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, along with Minister of State Anurag Thakur. The tradition, which goes back several years, involves preparing the halwa or sweet dish in a big kadhai or frying pot and serving it to the entire staff in the ministry. According to reports, the significance of the sweet dish is that after it is served, a large number of officials and support staff who are directly associated with the budget making and printing process are required to stay in the ministry and remain cut off from their families until the presentation of the budget. Around 100 officials are involved in the printing of the budget, and they will remain locked in the North Block office till the presentation of the budget on 1st January. They are not even allowed to contact their family members through phone or any other form of communication like email. Only very senior officials in the finance ministry are permitted to go home. The lock-in, which follows the halwa ceremony, is observed to maintain the secrecy of the budget preparation process. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show, as always, was edited and mixed by our producer, Joshua Thomas. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.